Well, I want to thank everyone for joining us this morning for our lunch bunch. One of the things we pride ourselves on is starting at 11:30 and finishing by 12:30. So thank you for giving an hour of your time to be here this morning. And I'm excited because once again, our GAE President Lisa Morgan, who is beginning the second year of her second term, is joining us. And Lisa, it's always a pleasure to hear from you. And I'm hoping you will share your thoughts for the upcoming year and where you think we're going from here, and entertain questions in some matter as we go along. So thank you so much for giving an hour of your time today also.
Thank you, Karen. And yes, do I have sharing rights?
You will momentarily.
Okay. So good morning, everyone. Great to see all your faces. I actually just got in. I'll tell you a little bit more about what I was doing, because I worked on what I was going to say to y'all yesterday, while I was in Ware County in Waycross at their new employee orientations. And then something happened this morning that kind of just goes right in with what I was going to talk about. So Karen, can I share?
Yes, ma'am. Share away.
Oh, share. Okay. So let me get it started here. And every time I share, that goes there.
I'm assuming you are talking to yourself.
Yes, I'm talking to myself. You know me well enough to know that I do that quite frequently. So I'm thinking this morning, we are always looking forward, but we also need to look backwards a little bit. It really hit me yesterday that I have been GAE president for three years now, and that just was like, I don't know why it really hit yesterday. So I want to kind of look back at what we've done and the progress that we as an organization has made, and where we are as we continue to move forward. So as always, I'm going back. I am Lisa Morgan. I am a kindergarten teacher and the current president of GAE. And so just some of the pictures from my kindergarten classroom, and spent this morning at the DeKalb County schools with, they had a bus monitor meeting, and bus drivers were coming by, and Dr. Carter's actually still out over there at the parking lot for the bus drivers. But after the bus monitor meeting, they came out, we had a table set up, Wick and I were talking to them about joining GAE, and a lady came up and she said, "I don't think you remember me." I'm like, "Yes, I remember you. You're Kiana's grandmother." And I don't remember her name, but she's Kiana's grandmother. I remember because of my student. And so Kiana, one of my former students, is 24 now, and her grandmother, who is a member, is a bus monitor, and wanted to let me know that my student is getting married. So that was my little teary-eyed moment this morning, because Kiana is one of my kindergarten babies who is getting married. And I always keep that at the front of my mind in everything I'm doing, because everything we do each and every day is about our students, and trying to keep that there. So here's some pictures of things from the past year. There's a picture of when I was in Waycross earlier this year, in Bainbridge. I'm not sure which time that is that I snuck away to read to a kindergarten class, and then with our aspiring educators at UGA. So I have been very busy. Also, then here's our board meeting, our spelling bee, and then one of the things that I was proud of this year was the fact that the Senate Committee on Public Education Funding invited one organization to speak. And there was one organization on the agenda presenting testimony at their meetings, and that was GAE. Somehow everybody always catches me with my mouth open for these. But we are still at the Capitol. And our voice of our members is being heard. One of the things I'm very happy about is the work we have done this year for the retirement benefits for our ESPs, our bus drivers, our custodians, our cafeteria workers, the maintenance personnel, and the fact that we were able to get the multiplier increase to the legal maximum. And we have the bill ready for this coming year that would eliminate that cap and put us in as a floor. So excited about that. And then here's some more things we've done this year. I put in the picture with me and Dr. Carter, and then our year-round organizing team, because we have seen that work grow so much. And you see the picture down at the bottom when we were in somewhere out west on the West Coast, Portland maybe. Our year-round organizers, our member organizers are doing great work and being recognized for that. So I'm excited about that. And you can see we've got Tony there from Retired who was with us, but you see those fresh young faces of our member organizers. And that's very exciting that we have our early career educators becoming involved in our organization.
Now, are you saying Tony doesn't look fresh and young?
Tony is our retired. I'm not saying she doesn't look fresh and young. She looks wonderful, but it's nice seeing those young gentlemen active in our organization. Defeating the voucher bill, again, we know it's going to be back, but the fact that we continue to be able to protect public education is important. And then, of course, everything that we were able to do around the campaign for Senator Warnock, and having not only our members engaged in that, but also all the school visits that we did during that time, and everything that happened with our members during that time was important. And then there's my picture when President Biden was here and I was able to hear him speak. I put this picture, because this is another little personal tidbit I'm putting in here. In this picture with me is Sherilyn Hector. She was the principal that first hired me to teach kindergarten in DeKalb County. And I was at the event in Fayetteville, and she came up and gave me a hug. I have not seen her because she retired my 4th or 5th year, and told me how proud she was of the work that we are doing at GAE for our students. So that was, in this past year, one of those very special moments that meant a lot to me, because she was my first principal, a wonderful principal. And she was a principal who was, I knew was always ultimately, it was about our students. And so for her to say that she has seen the work we're doing and that she appreciates the work we're doing for students that was very fulfilling for me this year. Membership. And you guys are getting to see this. I wasn't able to send a membership Monday post to the board yesterday because I was in Ware County. But we got the NEA membership report yesterday, August 31st, and I just took the snippets so you all can see. Figure 1 is the change in active membership, the raw number count. So the first one is the year over year since August 1st of last year. And you see we're second there behind Florida, and Florida is much larger than us. And then the year-to-date change since the end of the last fiscal year, you see we're third there behind Florida and California. But then the next one is where we get all happy. The year-over-year change, we have, our membership has increased 10% since last August. And since the end of the fiscal year, August 31st, our active membership has increased 16.9%. That's active. Then when we go to the total, again, we're second and third based on just the raw count number increase in membership. But then when we do that as a percentage, we are number one year over year and since the end of the fiscal year. And one thing that I am very excited about that, I pulled the numbers, and I'm going to make sure I'm not telling y'all these numbers wrong. We, on September 1st, 2021, when we began that new membership year, and that was Dr. Carter came in May that year, and that was the first summer that he and I hit the road for the month of July. That September 1st, we had 823 new to local members to add to our membership. So that was September 1st, 2021. September 1st, 2022, last year, we almost doubled that number. We had 1,571 new members to add to that. Our best estimate as of last Friday is we have 2,200 new members who will be added to their locals on September 1st this year. And that's as of last Friday. We said our goal was, it was 800 the first year. We doubled it this year. We wanted to triple this year and be at 2,400. And so I feel confident we're going to reach that 2,400. So our membership continues to increase, and had a conversation with one of our UDs when we were in, I don't even remember where we were. Anyway, I was talking to one of our UDs. We were recruiting together. Oh no, we were having dinner. We were having dinner in Albany after I had been in Bainbridge recruiting, and I don't remember where this UD had been recruiting, but I was going to be doing Doherty the next day, and he was going to Ben Hill County, and we were talking about it. And I said, the next piece of this is our members are coming, and we have to make sure that our members are staying, because they continue to see us doing the work, and they see their local as well as the state as relevant. So that's kind of where we're going as we continue working to increase our membership. The other thing with this membership increase, here is Georgia's numbers, and it gives you the same week of the prior year, the end of the prior year, and the current year. So you can see that as of July 31st, 2023, we have 19,611 active members. We are 389 members away from getting our second NEA director back. So I really anticipate, well, We've got 2,200 members to add, but of course, some of them are transferring from one local to another, so they won't be a complete add on the GAE number. But I anticipate that after the September board meeting, that we will be having the discussion with NEA about adding our second board seat back on, so that by February, we would have an interim director. And then we should, at our representative assembly in April, be electing our second NEA director. And when that happens, we will be the only state affiliate that has lost a director in the last 10 years who has regained that seat. So I'm very excited about that. You can see our retired is on here as well. We've had an increase in retired membership this year. And we've also had a significant increase in our aspiring educators. Our total membership is back over 25,000, and aiming to get that back over 30,000 this year. So that's where we are there. And that's the Georgia specific numbers. So I described my work as I have 3 buckets. And with those 3 buckets, at the end of the week, I always ask myself, did I do something to fill all 3 of those buckets during the week? And if I did, then I feel like I've had a successful week. So the first bucket is structure, and thinking about the structure and the capacity of GAE. Second bucket is membership, and the final bucket is advocacy. So structure, looking forward, we need to continue to review our GAE structures. I'm very pleased, and I want to thank Karen for all her hard work over the past 3 years on the board as chair of the Internal Concerns Committee. The fact that we have done a complete review of our board policies. We've taken policies to the RA to review. We no longer have documents mentioned in our board policies that nobody can remember what that was supposed to be. So we have been working on that. And the next step with that, we've done that with GAE. Obviously, we're still going to find things. There are still going to be things that we need to review. But the next step there is working with our locals in doing the same. We've been, the Constitution Bylaws Committee has been asking the locals to update their constitutions, but for them to really have those structures in place so that the members in the local know what's happening in their local, they know who to contact in their local. And I said here, if it's not in black and white, it didn't happen, because we do have, you know, I've heard from members, I don't know who to call, or we used to do it this way and now we do it this way and nobody knows why it changed. So helping our locals to, especially our larger locals, get those things in place. Some of what are now our larger locals that are approaching 1,000 members really have had explosive growth in the last couple of years, and helping those locals to handle that. Growing from a local of 250 members into a local approaching 800 members, it's a different being. So providing that training for the officers and having someone there to hold their hand and mentor them, but also helping them getting some of these policies and these things in place so that they are going to continue to thrive and grow moving forward. Membership, I've got right up top, revive and thrive, and engaging our members in our smaller locals. And I'm got to go back to my car. One of the locals that's been on my list for revive and thrive is Twiggs County. that they need officers. And I was in Twiggs County Monday, and so I've got to see what I did with my business cards, because I met 3 members there who have been members for a very long time. And 2 of them said, I came to Twiggs County and I didn't see anybody from GAE, and I called GAE and transferred my membership. And where have you been? And I said, well, I can't help what's happened, but we're here now and we will be back. And so we have people there who are wanting to get GAE alive again, revived in Twiggs County. Other locals that are on that list that we're going to be working with this year, and the UDs, so that we're there. And then my next thing is, again, I just said, shut the back door, so that we're losing members that don't realize we have lost them. As those members in Twiggs, they didn't see somebody from GAE, so they called GAE and got their membership transferred. But I know there are members in other parts of the state who have started a new job in a new district this week or last week, and they believe their membership just transferred with them. Even though it's all over the Know magazine, it's a full page, they think it just automatically transfers. Oh, I'm still a GAE member. So making sure that we get those people and that we don't lose them when they transfer districts. And I'm going to jump just a second down on the member organizers for that, because Dr. Carter has agreed. We have 3 of our ESP members who are going to be member organizers, and that is going to be what they are going to do as member organizers. They are going to, we've done where we brought volunteers into headquarters and made those phone calls and reclaimed those members who had switched districts or sent the information to GAE-Retired that they had retired. And so we have 3 ESPs who are going to be member organizers, and that is what they are going to do. Each week they'll take the list of members and who are on our cancellation list, and they will be contacting them to help them transfer their membership if they've gone to a new district. And we will be sending you all their names and their information if they have retired. Leadership development throughout the organization. I've been thinking a lot the last couple of weeks about ARs and building reps in buildings, and also local officers, so that we are building a bench for our locals and our state organization. So that's something I'm really thinking about moving forward. And then the year-round organizing. NEA has really changed everything. It used to be back to school, and then there would be a winter organizing, and then early enrollment, and it's all one continuous piece now. And so that we are thinking about membership and organizing throughout the year. But also my thing there with that is not only that they become a member, but that they become active and engaged in the organization. So that's where I've been thinking on my membership bucket. And then advocacy. It's about public education. And that's something that I think we as an organization, and I in particular, am going to be very intentional about. Every time the word education comes out of my mouth, it should be public education. And we truly are the only organization that is fighting to defend public education as the public good that it is. We know the right-wing attacks, the culture war issues are going to be there, and it's not going to stop probably going to heat up next year ahead of the presidential election. And then I feel good about how we have begun to move the needle on racial and social justice work in GAE. And my best feeling about that is because it has been member driven, and I want us to continue that. I feel like we have had a little bit of a culture shift, and in particular, our new members, we have a very diverse new membership who wants to work on those issues, and it's authentic. So I'm very happy about that, but I want to let those new leaders continue to grow within the organization and see themselves in the organization. In fact, one of the ESPs that joined us yesterday in Ware County, I see Richard and Mary Alice here. I'm going to get you her contact information because she will fit right in with that new cohort of members, and just the interaction I had with her as she joined yesterday, and the 2-minute discussion we had. And I'm very excited that she felt comfortable in Waycross in Ware County, Georgia, being her authentic self with us as an organization. So I feel good about that, but we know we still have work to do because we know those cultural wars attacks are still going to be there. And we know we're going to get the same kind of divisiveness on racial justice that we've been seeing. So that's the advocacy. And also continuing the work that our priorities. I'm hearing from members this week who are looking at their class list for next week and saying, hey, I had a member email me, I teach 3rd grade. I've already got 23 on my list and it's not even the first day of school. Are they still waiving class size? And unfortunately, I had to say, yes, they're still waiving class size, and they're probably still going to be continuing to waive class size. So working on the waiver issue, the PSERS, and obviously one of the things that I want to do in the advocacy here about public education, I've been talking about the Department of Education's teacher burnout report with every reporter that would listen. And I want us to distill that down because we are hearing the same things from our members there. And I've got some research that I received from NEA that the issues that I'm hearing from our members about what's driving them from the profession are the same issues across the country. And it's class size, it's lack of planning time, it's too many meetings, and it's discipline. So distilling that down in easy chunks that we can be talking about and that we can be hopefully moving the needle on those issues as well. And that's all I have in my little presentation. I wanted to give plenty of time to answer your questions. I see Linda has her hand raised. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning, everyone. I want you to add in your bucket of advocacy the injustices that are done to seniors in terms of the voting process.
Yes,
For
ma'am.
2 years, we've had a grant called GAE-Retired Call to Action. And as a result of that, we adopted senior living facilities to help seniors fill out the absentee ballot. We also help them get their COVID vaccinations. But on another conversation that I'm having with one office is that our Secretary of State is going to eliminate 900,000 people from the voting rolls. And we're mighty afraid that seniors again will be left behind. Surely our members but definitely seniors everywhere, especially those that are in senior living facilities and those that are in rehab centers who don't have family to protect them or system within that facility to support it. So if you could throw that in your bucket too, but because our advocacy has made national attention from NEA, and thanks to the executive committee and the legislative committee, we were able really to use those funds to add to our presence. And thank you for all you're doing. And I put in the chat that I'd like to talk with you about the grant that we got last year to do more with the early educators, career educators, and also those who are pre-retired. And thank you for your service.
Thank you, Linda. I wrote a note about voting in the seniors. I actually just saw this morning myself where other groups, and we need to remind our members, and I'm writing that down because we're working on our e-news to go out to our members to go and check their registration, because yes, they will be purging people from the voting rolls. And I saw your question about how will the interim director be chosen. I do not know from NEA exactly what process we have to go through to do that. My first thought is simply that we have an elected alternate NEA director. And my first thought would be that that person would be the interim until we held our election and elected the director for the full term.
Who is that at this present time?
Currently, it's Maria Bill Parker.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Dan?
Yeah, I'm probably missing something, but it seems to me between the critical race theory junk that's going on, book bannings that are going on, and all the various stupid things that various legislatures are doing here in Georgia, but more importantly in some of the other states. And it just seems to me, I'm not hearing anything from NEA or really GAE in filing lawsuits. It seems to me we should be all over that.
Okay.
I mean, some of that is just it's so ridiculous. It's unconstitutional.
Okay. So Dan,
where are we?
Where are we? Okay, here's where we are. The thing is, NEA working with GAE has been looking at filing a lawsuit on this divisive concept bill since it was passed. But we had to have a plaintiff. And well, okay, I would too. We needed a plaintiff who had suffered an adverse action. Okay. So that was the thing. In order for the plaintiff to have standing, they had to be in the classroom, a current educator who has suffered adverse action. So I know you've all seen Katie Renderly in Cobb County, who is one of our members, has now suffered an adverse action. So she will be at least one of the plaintiffs. And NEA and GAE, I know legal's working on it and they handle that part, and they'll tell me when they're ready for the next step. We did in the fall file the required notice with the state that we were planning to sue over this bill, over this law. And so they are in the process. I was not able to attend. I don't remember. It was during the legislative session. We had an event in Albany because they were hopeful that someone from the Albany area who is a member would be willing to step forward, and held an event there that was very well attended. NEA President Becky Pringle attended, but no one stepped forward. And that's one of the things, so I look about moving the needle. We do still have members across our state who are afraid to take a stand on issues like this, afraid to take a stand in many issues, and giving them the knowledge that they have GAE support, and that yes, they can stand up and speak on things that are important for our members and our students. And that's another one of those things that we have to move the needle on.
We'll follow up.
Yes.
Does ulcers count as adverse reactions? Do we get some teachers in with a little stomach ache and find out what the medical reason is for it?
Yeah, well, when they look at the adverse action, they are saying it has to be an adverse action to their job.
Well, an
And
ulcer
so,
works.
yeah, well, I know.
Well, I'm getting
I know-
heartburn, I'll tell you that.
Well, and I know,
I know I don't
educators-
count, but
Right. Educators all across the state are changing what they are doing, and, they're changing what they're teaching because of this, but that's where we are.
thank you.
Okay, thank you.
So my question is, I went to the member organizing training, and the word union was used roughly 25 times. I didn't count. But that seemed to be the noun of naming for GAE, that we are a union. And so could you just comment on your thought process and how and where this initiative might be going?
Okay, so here on my desk somewhere, I'm not going to dig it out. NEA did research. And so that's one of those culture shifts we have in GAE, that we can use the word union and it not be a negative in most parts of the state. Now, we still do have some parts where we still have some areas of the state where it is an issue, but NEA did put research with members and potential members. And the research showed that potential members want to join their union, and they want to hear the word union. And that is, so we are using the word union. I will ask you all to recall, if you were at the spring RA, our the new business item passed, which we already had in the process, but the new business item passed. Our membership materials that we have this year, we have a Stronger Together piece that NEA put out last year, and I wanted it not to be NEA, I wanted it to be GAE. It's in our colors, and so we have both. We have one that does not use the word union, that says we're the organization that has been uniting educators throughout Georgia. And then we have one that says we are the union. So in those areas where union is still a bad word, and we know where that is, we have that. But even yesterday in Ware County, I mean, the gentleman came out and said, "This is the union, right?" And I said, "Yes, it is." And he said, "Yes, I always join my union." And he had 2 people with him that he was bringing along to join. So that's kind of where we've come. And hopefully we can continue that. My goal is 10 years from now, I really believe we can win collective bargaining from the legislature. I believe that. I believe that in 10 years, we will have a legislature here in Georgia that would pass collective bargaining. That does us absolutely no good if our organization is not ready to immediately take that on. And if we do not have locals who are ready to hold those elections for representation. So what that means is we have to do our work. So when we get that legislature we need, we already have the membership we need. And those districts where we have 50+1 membership, we could hold those elections and know that we were going to win those elections and be ready to bargain for our members a real contract. And our ESPs, once again, are the ones that are really like, they're asking me those questions. And I told them, I spoke with some ESPs last week and I said, listen, and they're like, we want to bargain. And I said, well, we have to change the law, but even more importantly than changing the law, we have to have the membership so that when the law changes, we are ready. And that's why we have to continue building our membership, but also building our capacity, building our leadership so that we are ready to embrace that happening.
Thanks, Lisa. Good answer.
Yes, Linda.
Yeah, I wanted to, that's why I raised my hand when you mentioned union. I was helping to recruit at Washington High, and I had one of those strong Philadelphia people come up and literally talk someone out of joining because she used union and collective bargaining in the same sentence. I'm 73 and I hope I live, you say 10 years to see
Yes.
it. I think we need to curve that table some a little bit in terms of saying the word. I mean, they have us so intimidated by saying collective bargaining. You know, GAE used to have a collective bargaining caucus. You know,
Right.
if nothing else, look at the process. So I pray that you don't scare folk off saying 10 years, especially those who we can use that have 25 years and out before retirement, and those that are coming from up north down here knowing that they don't have it, but we can still fight.
Right.
You know, which, and I know the UNICEF directors have good answers. I've watched it work. So thanks for that. But I certainly hope it won't take 10 years.
Well, and Linda, here's why my 10-year projection is, even 5 years ago, our friends at the Capitol were not introducing legislation. We have friends at the Capitol that are willing to introduce collective bargaining legislation for public school employees. So our friends are moving with us. And the thing I say to those members who are coming out of state is, no, we don't have a collective bargaining law, but we can stand stronger together and we can bargain in other ways to make our members' lives better. And we need to be doing that as well. While we're working to get the law. Miss Brenda.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Brenda Montgomery. Yesterday, Lisa, I received a disturbing email from that other organization. What is it? GAE, whatever. This person said that organization was responsible for us getting a 1.5% raise in July and January. And they also said that TRS was solid. Now, let's go back. Maybe I forgot. But I don't think that other organization was instrumental in doing that. Am I correct?
Brenda, I'm just going to say this about organizations taking credit for stuff. We got all kinds of organizations trying to take credit for things that happen at the Capitol, but the reality is the 1.5% raise is in state law and has been in state law. And so that's where it is. Now, TRS being on solid footing, yes, I think we can all say that's true. And honestly, I don't spend time arguing with other people about what they're doing because I want to talk about GAE and what we're doing to make things better for our members and our students. I had a board member who was doing some NTOs and called me all upset, said these people are taking credit for everything at the Capitol and acting like they're the only ones down there. And I said, you know, they can say whatever they want to say. We know what the truth is. And oh, here's what to ask when they start talking. I did put a plug in because I discovered that no other organization is talking about the fact that the Department of Education is piloting a replacement for teacher keys. Which isn't surprising to me because the representatives they sent to the advisory committee just saw it as another meeting they were attending, not as something that was impactful for their members because they weren't educators.
Okay, so I'm gonna respond to her, but I want to respond to her in a very dignified way to jog her mind. So that's why I want maybe some clarification or guidance. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. And Joe, are you here? I thought I saw Joe.
I am here. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so Brenda, Joe or I will look that up for you and let you know so you can bury them in facts.
Okay, I'm gonna bury him in a lot of facts.
Okay, we got you.
Okay.
Lisa, as
He
we,
go to a house and slap her in the face, but I said, no, don't you do that, cause
No,
you don't want to spend your bail money that way.
yeah, that's right.
as we wind down our time together, because I need a few minutes at the end for announcements. How can GAE Retired help? Share your thoughts about GAE Retired, please.
So how can GAE Retired help? Continue to be our first call. I know many of you know you are our first call when we need assistance. And I'm going to start giving you some dates. October 21st and 22nd. Save that date. October 21st and 22nd. We are working on a weekend that will have some legislative training. We will have legislators attending a luncheon with our members that day to, as Joe says, give thanks and spanks. And it'll probably be lots of thanks because the people that need the spanks probably won't show up, but we'll still talk about them. And then we'll have some legislative training that day. Our Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee is working. They want to provide training for members and be available to our locals. So we are, they are hopefully going to have some of that ready by that weekend in October. Also, Joe's working. Y'all know that GPO-WEP is very important, not only to our retired, but our active members. We are working on setting up some meetings with our Congress people while they are home this month. And we'll be reaching out to those of you who live in those districts where our Congress people have not yet signed on to the bills to repeal GPO-WEP. And one thing I need to let you all know as retired, while I'm here, I'll talk with our other members. We did the NBI, and I've talked with Karen and Tony about this, and the state presidents who are in the majorly impacted states, we have a plan and a timeline for how we are going to lead on this issue, because we don't feel like our NBI and our lobbying cadre had the impact we wanted it to have. So we are working as a group. We met with NEA, with Mary Kusler at the NEARA to find out where we were with GPO-WEP. We have a meeting August 22nd. So we have a timeline where we are working so that our goal is that this time next year, we will have leaders, state presidents, and others in all 51 state affiliates, understanding the impact that GPOEP has on members across the nation, so that we are all together on this. So you will be hearing from me on some of that, and some of that we're going to be working with the other state presidents to move that needle forward. We all agreed that currently an NBI was not the way that we could get the work done in the way it needs to be done. I really felt like what we wanted to happen with our cadre did not happen. We wanted them to be educated, to become the experts, to be the ones communicating with NEA and bringing back to the state and letting all our members know what's happening. And that just didn't happen. So we're going to try a different route this year. And once we get through that plan of action we have, we will assess it next year. Excuse me, we have president's meetings in May, and we will assess in May and then move forward. So, yeah. And past President Rollins, I see your text, and yes, ma'am, I will get you that information.
Lisa, thank you so much for being here, but thank you also for being who you are. Obviously a good fit for our organization. I am so excited about getting a second director back on the NEA board and about the membership growth. And if you don't know the answer, you don't make one up, you find out the
I'm going to
information
find out.
and share it with people. And I just really appreciate the support that the GAE-Retired organization, you have always given our organization. So thank you so much.
Thank
I
you.
want to just share some things that should be on your radar. In the Loop went out yesterday, and if you are not getting In the Loop, I have just put a link in the chat where you can sign up and look at our present and past issues. And I'm scrolling a little bit. We have our Red for Ed Wednesdays, but we too are just a couple things. We are gathering data right now for you to share your opinion about whether our all-member conference should be in person or virtual. So if you haven't participated, please do that by August 4th. We also, our retired organization, are storming and norming and peacefully forming a racial and social justice committee. And how that will interface with the GAE Diversity and Inclusion Committee remains to be seen. So we're pretty excited about the work we have done thus far. We have another Zoom meeting this Saturday. So you are invited, of course, to join in that group and be part of that. I know you've read In the Loop from cover to cover, but we have set up our pre-retirement seminar dates for this year. Again, these dates are on Saturdays. Hopefully more people can attend and not be in the classroom. And these events are open to both members and non-members. They are virtual, they are free. They do last about 4 hours. We do talk about all these topics, including the GPOEP. We have a Social Security Administration representative, and we also have people sharing about end-of-life documents and a representative for TRS. So this is big bang for the buck because these are free. So hopefully you will share that information with people in the classroom. We are starting the rounds of district meetings, and my understanding, and President Morgan can correct me if I'm wrong, is that district meetings really are open to any GAE member. If you want to know what's going on even more with GAE, attend a district meeting. If you don't know what district you're in or living in, there's a little link and you can go through and click on the GAE calendar to see the other district meetings throughout the year. So, you know, participate. And Ms. Morgan.
Yes, just so everyone knows, I'm actually, that's next on my list to get the registration up for these 2 district meetings and the Rights at Night this month. So everybody should be receiving their monthly e-news, hopefully first thing in the morning. And the district information will be there for those.
Perfect. Our next lunch bunch, again, first Wednesdays of the month, September 6th, and Dr. Craig Carter, our executive director, will, besides being at the bus barn, share what he's doing as an executive director, and it'll be an opportunity for Q&A with him also. We have upcoming retired business meetings. Again, all of these are virtual, so you don't have to drive anywhere. And for the September 8th meeting, we'll be updating that with a mobilized link so you can register for that. The next GAE board meeting is September 8th and 9th. There's a report of what happened at the July 10th meeting. And your 3 GAE retired at-large directors, if you have any issues, please email them. That's what you elected them to do, is to serve you on the GAE board. And I will say, I saw Brenda and I've seen Sandra today. I know that GAE retired President Tony Smith is traveling today. She does some work with NEA and with welcoming schools, and she's going to the West Coast. So that's why she's not with us. We did have a TRS meeting at the end of July, and Lisa Underwood, GAE retired chair of the TRS monitoring committee, does a most excellent report, and TRS is indeed solvent and doing well, got an excellent rate of return on its investments. And we all got the July COLA if we're retired. So take a look at the notes that Lisa Underwood has put together. Couple other things. We are trying to establish local caucuses within a given area within the state. So if you would like to meet, greet, and eat, there's a little bit of grant money available to do that. And just click on this for further information. And as we wind up, there are recruitment awards for enrolling new members. So you could win money. And when I've asked about this in the past, it does include adding retired members and adding pre-retired members. So please take a look at that. And then just our spring RA will be in Atlanta in April of next year. And we do have a YouTube channel for GAE Retired. So later on today, I will upload the video from this particular meeting. So there are a lot of things going on. I share one last thing, I hope. If you haven't been to the new GAE website, we have one, and you should take a look at what's going on with each of the sidebar tabs here. And in order to get to the GAE Retired page, it's under About GAE, and whom we represent. And when you click on there and you have a really fast computer, you can see here that there's a page currently for retired and pre-retired members. So, and as you scroll down and you read all this great intro material, including the link to the last GAE Retired newsletter, you'll see that there are, for GAE Retired, the brochure and our lifetime and annual membership forms, pre-retired, etc. So sometimes people will reach out to me and say, well, I need an application form. Well, in case I'm not around, just go to our new website, take a look at it, and go to, again, about GAE, whom we represent, and retired members. It is now 12:30. We're going to go through and close out, and thank you all for your time being here this morning, and hope to see you next month with Dr. Craig Carter. So have a great day. It'll be cooler next month, I hope. Take care.
Thank you, Lisa and Karen.
Thank you.
Great meeting.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.